Hi, my name is Christoff, and I've worked on TED partnerships for 7 years. I'm giving this presentation to share some tips and tricks on how TED gets partnerships and also to share some of the common challenges that we all face. A lot of people don't know that TED is a nonprofit, and we're funded in large part by corporate and philanthropic partnerships. The number one question that myself and my team get all the time from potential partners we talk to is, how can my CEO get on stage? So I imagine, have that in common. That might sound familiar to you. And so I'm here today to share some of my tips. Number one is think local. TEDx is all about bringing ideas to your community. So what companies, large or small, might want to show support in your community? Companies usually have hometown pride, whether they're huge corporations or smaller local businesses. For example, when TED announced our plans to come to Atlanta, Coca-Cola was interested in supporting us, UPS too. You would have seen them both if you were at TEDNext, in Atlanta. And here is an example of Coca-Cola's president last year welcoming TED to Atlanta, notably at a party, not on the stage. It's a great place for him to speak to our audience. TED has also had a long conference presence in Vancouver, and we've partnered with Destination Canada, which promotes tourism to Canada, and Air Canada. They were excited to show off their beautiful city and country and encourage people to come back later or extend their trip. Next tip is to think about what you need. I know the goal is cash sponsorships, but don't write off in-kind partnerships. What do you need, and who might be able to help you achieve those goals? For example, TED had a furniture partner for years in Steelcase, which saved us significant event production costs. They set up these beautiful lounge spaces that you see here, and they also furnished our whole theater. We also work with local food and beverage companies to provide snacks for attendees. It really enriches the experience, we find, to highlight local snack companies, and people are always hungry and excited to see these things around. And finally, we have a partnership with Uni, who provides all of our pens for the conference, which it turns out are a lot. If you've ever been to a TED conference or come to one in the future, you will probably collect a lot of writing materials courtesy of Uni. The next tip is to consider your own values. You organize TEDx because you want to spread ideas far and wide. What brands have values that you love? What brands come to mind that may want to support the spreading of these ideas within your community? And you also want to think about creating community. Focus on building a community that comes back every year and keep tabs on what this community looks like. Your audience can be a really valuable asset to potential cash sponsors. Create opportunities for partners to facilitate gatherings, networking, etc. off stage. Those can all be partnership opportunities. And finally, our favorite question, can I be on stage? No, and I know it may be frustrating to keep repeating this, but the editorial nature of your event is what makes it so valuable. Aligning with the thought leadership of your TEDx event is a great opportunity for CEOs and execs to build a positive network within your community. And if you really have something important to say, here's where you can speak. They can make remarks at a dinner, a happy hour, like you see here, or any kind of other offstage event. They could lead an offstage workshop. And you can get creative with other programming. You will notice a lot of that if you ever come to a TED conference. The next question we get is, where can my brand show up? There are plenty of places that aren't the stage that your brand can show up. For instance, could you give your product away to the audience with gifting? Everybody loves TED gift bags. This is a great way to give something away if you want to get it into the hands of consumers. Or you could showcase a new product, a tech demo, an initiative with an exhibit space. Here you'll see an example of our partner I mentioned earlier, Uni, who had a color by numbers wall, and it got people using their markers that they wanted to promote. And it was also really fun. People love to color. Or you could create a space for community. This looped-in lounge was created with the support of a partner after we heard at TED that there was a need for dedicated space to discuss the ideas people were hearing from the stage. Or You could host a community networking event after the talks. Happy hour, dinner, lunch, etc. We find that people are really eager to discuss ideas they've heard on stage, and partners can facilitate these networking opportunities. The next question we get all the time is, what's the ROI? Well, you might be sick of me saying this by now, but who's in your audience? Those are valuable statistics you can share with partners about who exactly they reached. Are they looking to market to young professionals, those with a certain household income, people within a certain age group? These are all statistics that you can share about your audience to help justify the return on investment. Thank you so much. I've been Katie Christoff at TED Partnerships, and happy selling.